Hello, hello, and welcome to the party. Today, we're going to be going over the top 10 things that need to be in Diablo 4. Now, before we jump into this, I also just want to point out that the items on this list are in no particular order. So, number 10 is not more important than number 1 and vice versa. These are just 10 things that I think would be really, really amazing to have in Diablo 4 and would improve the overall quality of life that the game brings to the table for its players. Without further ado, let's jump into number 10, dynamic camera movement. Now, I don't know if this is something that could be implemented this far into the programming stages of the game. I would probably say not. However, if we take a look at V-Rising, right, being able to move your camera around is quite nice. And the reason why is because not only does it change the way that you play the game, but it also fixes a lot of issues that games today have with fixed camera. Camera angles can really suck, bro. There's something that's difficult to see, or if there's something that's coming our way, being able to kind of zip your camera around and address the situation at hand is very great. Not only that, it allows people to play the game how they want to play. I think this would be a really nice feature, and maybe it's something that's a toggle, right? Maybe you hate the ability to move your camera around, so you put on a fixed camera. I don't know why you'd ever want that over a dynamic camera, but hey, you do you. I mean, it's 2023, so why not? Moving on to number 9, looking at V-Rising again, WASD movement. I'm going to be real with you. I know I said for the camera movement, why not? It's 2023, but for WASD, that's even more true, right? It's 2023. Why do we not have this as an option for people? I get that, it's an ARPG and people fall in love with the genre for the point and click. Here's the thing. Don't take that away. You don't need to take that away. Just give people the option to toggle on WASD. Is it like, maybe I'm missing something, but is that really gonna change the game that much? Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, but I just don't see WASD offering an extreme advantage over click to move. I think that both of them would have their pros and cons for sure. Again, I'm not the expert here, so maybe someone else can tell me what I'm missing. You put this in the game as a toggle option, a lot of people would really enjoy that, and I don't really see a reason as to why, especially it being in 2023, why this can't be in the game at this point, right? Like, come on, you give us more abilities here, all right? All right, moving on to number 8, better Paragon system. If we're to be told that we are going to be able to play the game how we want to play, that should be true in all facets of the game, not just like your skill build, but your Paragon and your settings, which is also why I bring up the camera movement and the WASD movement. Have a node give us a 10% increase to radius on AoE abilities, or give us a 5% increase to lightning-based damage, right? That sort of stuff. If I can be totally transparent, +5 to dexterity, +5 to strength, blah, 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 that is boring. That's boring. It's not interesting. I don't care about all of that. I think the path that you take with those nodes should matter, and you can do that by implementing something similar to what Path of Exile has done. Maybe one path is increase the radius of AoE abilities, and maybe another path is increase the damage of AoE abilities. I don't know. Give players a real sense of decision as they make their way towards the legendary node, right? But the +5 to dex, the +7 to strength, or 10 to intellect, or whatever, oh my gosh, all of that, I just think that needs to change, and something that is similar to Path of Exile, but not so complicated, I think could be easily achieved here. All right, moving on to number 7, we have greater rifts. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you are going to hate that, and believe me, even saying it out loud, it makes me cringe in my chest, okay? However, hear me out. I think that greater rifts could be a really good kind of middle of the ground content that players can take advantage of to help them gear up as they progress towards endgame. Mid-game content that players can do to help them gear as they progress through the story of the current world tier that they're on while they prepare for endgame. I think that would be great. Maybe it doesn't drop items. Maybe it drops resources like it does in Lost Ark. Or maybe it does drop items, but the chances of you getting a legendary is reduced by 50%. I don't know. But I do think that there is a place for greater rifts to be implemented into the game, just not for endgame. Please, for the love of everything, not endgame. I don't want to just do greater rift runs over and over and over for the rest of my life. All right, number 6, better runes, not necessarily rune words. So what do I mean by this? There's 2 examples that I kind of want to bring up. First, Enigma from Diablo 2. For those of you who've played Diablo 2, and you've ever made an Enigma yourself without trading or doing anything absolutely crazy to get an Enigma in a day, you know that farming for a Jaw and a Burr rune can take quite a long time. I've heard horror stories of people farming of upwards of 4-5 months just to get one Burr rune to make their Enigma. The big issue with that is you have to wait, right? And the key word there is wait to feel that power boost. And if RNG is not on your side, you're going to be waiting for a very long time. And for very many people, that can be super discouraging. So what I'm saying is improve the runes themselves and what they do for the player. If you've ever played Path of Exile, you know that the way that you get skills in the game and how skills change are based off of the gems that you put into your gear and armor. I think it'd be really cool if the runes in Diablo 4 did something similar to what support gems from Path of Exile do. Let's say a Jaw rune drops, okay? Instead of the Jaw rune giving plus 5% to maximum health, maybe instead what it does is it gives plus 1 to teleport. So we take that Jaw rune and we socket it into a piece of gear or weapon, and now we have that teleport ability. That player now has a sense of progression while they're farming instead of waiting for that power boost, right? And that can keep them going. That can keep them playing the game. They say, okay, I got my Jaw, I got my teleport. This is going to increase my efficiency. This is really encouraging. I feel it. And although maybe it's not at the level of what the full rune word might be, no one would deny that having a teleport on a paladin, you know, without Enigma is a very useful thing to have. Coming in at number 5, we have raids. This is just a me thing, all right? I want raids. I want raids in Diablo 4, okay? Give me something other than dungeons and world bosses for endgame that I can go into that's gonna, you know, make me feel good. It would just be really easy to recycle raid content, you know, that's gonna keep players going back to it over and over and over, right? At the end of the day, Diablo 4 is a gearing grind simulator, and everybody's just going to find ways to grind to get the best gear, and then they're going to get the best gear, and they're going to wait for the next patch to come out, and that's okay, right? And so if you want your players to stick around, give them more options to gear and get better gear through higher difficulty content. That's outside of the world tier system. You have these systems implemented right now in World of Warcraft, right? You have normal, heroic, and mythic. Maybe we have something similar in Diablo 4. If we don't have raids in Diablo 4, I think it's going to be a huge disservice to the game. Like, if their end game is going to be nightmare dungeons and world bosses, we need raids. That's what I'm saying. Give me raids. Coming in at number 4, I have mounts. But what about mounts? Really straightforward. Just give us different mounts for different situations. So far, we've only seen the horse mount, right? However, if we take a look at Guild Wars 2 and the mount system they have, it's really good. Like, it's really good. If you want to, you know, skim across water, there's a water mount. If you want to jump high up onto a cliff that's, you know, 60 feet up in the air, there's a jumping mount. If you want to fly, there's a flying mount. If you just want to go fast, there's a fast mount. There's all sorts of different things in Guild Wars 2 as far as their mounts goes for different situations. I'll tell you this, when I got all of my mounts in Guild Wars 2, I felt very, very good about it, right? Getting the mounts was a process and it kind of sucked, but once I had all of my mounts, I felt I felt good. I felt like that there was nowhere I couldn't go in the world, like there was nothing I couldn't do, and I thought that was really powerful, and Diablo 4 could have a very similar system. So more a diverse mount cast, I guess you could say. All right, coming in at number 3, we have weapon swap and tying abilities to the weapons that you have equipped. This is in Diablo 2. I don't know why it's not in Diablo 3. I don't know why it's not in Diablo 4. But I think that this, again, adds to the overall value of the game. So I'm going to lay out an example for you, all right? You're a rogue. You're stealth. You got 2 daggers equipped. Bop, bop. You've got poisons and bleeds going. Nice. Good job. You dash out of those mobs, all of those mobs that you poisoned and bladed, and you swap to a bow. And then you shoot a explosive arrow. It starts everybody on fire, and then you know, use some sort of crazy rapid fire ability and adds to the overall damage over time. This would be great, right? This would completely change the way that people play modern Diablo today. Not only that, managing 12 abilities is not difficult, all right? Can we just be real? I know that everybody's like, oh, they're trying to simplify things and they're trying to refine it. Like, if you're going to tell me that they can't add weapon swap and abilities change on weapon swap because we don't think we can manage 6 additional abilities, I think that's absurd. I think that's absurd, all right? Give me 6 additional abilities. Tie it to my second weapon, you know, my other weapons that are equipped. Let me change how I play the game, I guess, is what I'm saying. Tying abilities to weapon swap would be amazing, and it would change. It would change how we play Diablo 4 totally and completely. Not only that, with runes and rune words being a part of the game in the future, there's a lot that they could do there, and the developers have to know that. They have to, right? I think that, again, not having weapon swap in Diablo 4 would be a huge disservice to the game, something that they could probably implement fairly easily. Coming in at number 2, we have less mob density. That's right, I said it. Why did I say it? Here's the thing. Every freaking ARPG that you played right now, basically this is how it plays. You get to endgame, you do some sort of crazy endgame content, there's a billion jillion enemies in the dungeon you go into, you press Q, W, E, and R over and over and over, and you clear the entire screen of all of the enemies. It's like magic. It's great. I do think that less mob density at this point is actually going to improve the game overall and not decline it, right? Like, I don't need 1,000 enemies on the screen for me to clear. So my proposal is this: make mobs harder to kill and make builds more engaging to use. I actually think the mob density that we experienced in the Diablo 4 beta was like right on, right? I loved it. I felt myself paying attention to each individual mob and what they were doing. And again, and I put this in my, you know, Diablo 4 impressions video, if I died, I felt like it was my fault. I didn't feel like it was some BS thing that was hidden under a sea of mobs that I couldn't see. I want there to be an ARPG where if you kill a specific type of mob, like, people know you are the bee's knees, right? That's what I want. They're like, dang, this guy killed the Headless Horseman from World of Warcraft. Whoa, that's insane, right? That would be cool. I think that would be awesome. All right, coming in last, but certainly not least, number 1, allowing players to trade items for real money currency in the game. That's right, I said it. Here's the thing. We all know there's going to be a cash shop. We all know that there's going to be a real money currency that players can buy, and at this point, it's fine, whatever, right? That's not going to go away. We should all just accept it and move on. However, one thing I do want to point out is the way that real money currency is handled by Digital Extremes and Warframe is absolutely amazing. And what I mean by that is players can essentially trade their real money currency for items in the game and vice versa. And is there still an option for Warframe players to buy the real money currency in the game? Yes, there is. However, for those who want to just play the game for free, they also have the option to go out and farm and learn the economy, right? And trade for real money currency as well. Now, the catch here is that players can only trade a certain amount of times per day, right? And I think that is phenomenal, right? I think it brings a lot of charisma to the game. I think it allows people, again, to play how they want to play. Not only that, right, you'd get a lot less, you would get a lot less stolen credit cards. That has to be a good thing, right? You know, the 9-year-olds out there that are stealing their parents' credit cards for the things, like, we gotta stop this. We gotta lower that. This is a problem. This is a problem, and this would fix that problem. Blizzard, you have the opportunity to save stolen credit cards and family. You can fix families with this, is what. Those are my top 10 things that I think need to be in Diablo 4. What did you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to know in the comments. Seriously, let me know. I love engagement, and I try to respond to as many comments as I can on a regular basis. Going on from there, if you're feeling called to it, feel free to check out some of my other content that I've posted just for your viewing pleasure. And if you really like my stuff, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, definitely helps out, and I surely do appreciate it. Closing out the video, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Until next time, I will see you later. See ya!